Hey, welcome back to the Jmach Podcast, where our mission is to make veterans great again through community involvement. And I'm your host, Josh Mack. Thank you for tuning in. Together, we can conquer our mental health one step at a time. I want to thank our sponsors, TRC, Total Roofing and Construction, and Arizona Organix, Arizona's first legal dispensary. Please like and subscribe, and remember that your mental health matters. You're not alone. And enjoy the episode. All right, welcome back to the Jmach Podcast. Today, we have Pilot Flyin Myles Hye.
You know what it is, man.
So how's your day going so far?
Hey, bro, I woke up, got fried, made some moves, you know what I'm saying? And, now I'm here with you, bro.
Awesome,
breaking it down.
I
How's your
appreciate
day?
you coming out here. Going pretty well. Our first guest canceled on us today, no problem.
I'm here.
So we got some time, and now we're going to make it a great episode.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
For sure.
So can you tell me a little bit about your childhood, what it was like growing up for you?
Yeah, man. So I'm the oldest of three. I like your bucket hat, man. That's tight. Hell yeah. That's cool. But now I'm the oldest of three, so oldest child, man. I played sports. You know what I mean? Growing up, my majority of my life, I stopped playing as a young adult. Man.
Lacrosse and water polo?
Nah, football and basketball.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, lacrosse would be sick. My homeboy played lacrosse, and he always tried to get me to do it, but I was like, nah, bro. Like, I'll play football instead.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Like, I would always go to his games. It was interesting.
Did you grow up in Arizona?
Nah, I'm originally from Virginia.
Virginia? Okay.
Yeah,
when did you move out here?
2018.
Okay, so like your
summer
adulthood?
2018, yep.
All right. I mean, you're still
Yeah,
young.
I'm
right?
out here. Yeah. Know what I'm saying? It's home now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love Phoenix. I remember where I come from. That always is a thing that I represent,
Right.
where I come from. But Phoenix is home now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in your childhood, did you have both parents with you?
I did. I grew up with both parents. Unfortunately, my mother passed away when I was 15. So as an early teenager, I had to accept a pretty heavy role. But for the most part, younger years of my life, I had my mother and father in my life.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Life,
I'm assuming that made you grow up a little bit faster than you probably wanted to, or did you feel like you were already that level of maturity?
No, not even close. I was forced, but I didn't even recognize it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was just like, whoa, life. I gotta be, being the older sibling, I gotta be the role model and example. And I don't believe that I did that properly. Like, as far
Okay.
as like following my, what my pop said, and like kind of like trying to accept being a role. Like, I did what I thought was mature and stuff like that. I mean, obviously I was extremely rebellious too. You know what I mean? I was like at
Right.
that age, like, nah, you're not. I know what I'm talking about.
Right. Plus, you're the older sibling, so you got
Right.
like probably the least amount of attention.
I mean, and
How
yeah,
it happens.
And I had to, kind of facilitate, doing the things that I didn't think I would have to do. So
You kind of
was
turned into
different.
like an additional parent in a sense.
In a
I'm
way,
sure.
yeah. I mean, of course, I love my brother and sister. You know what I mean? I'm 5 and like my sister, she's the baby. She's 7 years younger than me. My brother's 5 years younger than me.
Okay.
So it's a little age gap, and so
Yeah.
being 15, like they're still, I mean, my sister, I don't believe really got it right away as, she was a little young, but my brother, he kind of got it, but. So it was like I was really the only one who fully understood what happened and like how our life is about to change.
Right.
And so yeah, I would say it caused me to grow up differently than I was believing like a normal, two-parent type of situation is growing up. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
like my friends had two parents. You know what I mean? I watched. I saw them grow up. I saw how like it was supposed to look like. And again, being a little bit older, I was already starting to develop my like routine and like lifestyle and like figuring out like, whoa, this is the world type of thing. And then like that major situation happens and it kind of like changes your whole perspective of like, you don't got time to figure it out right now.
Right. And you said you were a teenager?
Yeah, 15.
So did you already know what you wanted to do after high school at that point, or did everything change from that point?
I mean, I had an idea in my head, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I knew necessarily what I wanted to do, but like, I wanted to play sports. Like, I wanted to go professional and play sports. Like, I was fortunate enough to play in college. So, I got to a degree of, what I believed I was supposed to, like I wanted to achieve. But, it did, even in I think it affected me more in my early 20s. because of that, like trying to figure out, okay, well now I'm no longer playing sports. Like, what do I actually want to do with my life? And that was a really difficult time period to try to like understand that there's something that I have to do no matter what, and the reason why I stopped going to college is I had a daughter, you know what I mean? And like, so like my financial situation changed up and my daughter saved my life. So like I can go back and do school whenever type of thing.
Right.
So like, it was more of that. So, again, just like life things that cause you to grow up real quick. And that's kind of what I think has developed me to where, I mean, obviously everyday experiences grow and change you and mold you and stuff like that. But I think the real impactful ones, I think, really happen in between, let's just say like 10 years, 15 to 25, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what it was like going to college playing sports out of high school.
Interesting, really, because I went to a Division III school, so nothing super crazy, like as far as like D1 and how they handle their programs and stuff like that. But I mean, it was still an experience, right? Like you go to a place and you're like, oh man, I just got recruited to go here. Like this is cool, you know what I mean? Like I kind of like took the first offer, opportunity. I didn't really like look into, I was like, I don't care, I'm going to play football,
Right.
And so that was really cool. I think that whole experience like allowed me to understand like really like not never to go for your first offer. You should always, like there's always opportunity and option. Like I feel like if I looked at that situation like now, like I'm like, oh, I should have analyzed my situation, like where is it located, what, like do the research and things like that, like not just be like so naive to the point of like, oh, I'm just gonna go play football. So it was a learning experience, I would say. It was cool though. I got the whole experience of being that freshman on the football team that was supposed to be good, right? Like,
Right.
we're getting a new recruit, whoop-de-whoop, like, and so it was like that level of anticipation. Like people were like, had expectations of me arriving to the program because it was a smaller school. Like I went to the college visit and then basically like agreed to sign like probably like 2-3 weeks after that.
You got excited.
It was like,
yeah, taste of college.
right. And then
bit.
I never really had that before. I was, more focused. I mean, pothead, bro. I've been a pothead for almost 15 years myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So it's like that was really what I was doing. But I mean, I was still playing sports. I'm going to the gym. So like, my conditioning wasn't really changing. It was just like I was smoking and getting high. Like, and I never really drank. I've never really been a big drinker in general. I mean, I will casually, but college, that first college visit, bro, it put a number on me, man. I was like, oh, this is tight. This is cool, man. So, yeah, but it was a cool experience, man. Something that, I feel very fortunate to have experienced.
That sounds like a great experience to have, especially like it was your passion,
Yeah, it was cool.
Were you able to handle that pressure of being the new recruit?
I got hurt.
Okay.
I got hurt, like, right in the training camp. So, like, I had to sit, and, like, so, like, it was even more intense. Like, when you get healthy, bro, like, I just rolled my ankle, and it was, like, just, like, swollen. So, like, I had to sit out for, like, 2 weeks because it was just, like... So, like, while everybody was doing all the conditioning and the heat and stuff, like, I'm sitting on the bench, and I'm feeling like, dang, I'm a freshman here. Like, I don't, like... college football is different. You know what I mean? And I'm, like, looking at it like that, and I'm like, dog, like... I hope I can, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I was always confident in my abilities, but, like, it was just, like, that like, experience. Like, my coaches are talking to me, like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying, you better get right. Like, you know, and I'm trying to build myself up to be able to provide that type of, and I ended up doing that, you know, once I got healthy. You know, I played 3 years. My freshman year, I didn't really start until, like, the back half of the season. And then, you know, as my sophomore and junior year, I played both sides of the ball, and pretty much all phases, you know, special teams too. And so I believe that I lived up to that. You know what I mean? I don't believe that there's a lot of college athletes that are, you know, able to play both sides of the ball.
I can imagine college is going to be more intense and physical because, like, they get to select who they get. They don't just have to get who's in the district, right?
Right.
So do you feel like it was more mental than physical still, or do you still feel like it was a little bit more physical than mental?
I think initially it was the mental, and then being in there to be able to, or That's a good question. Because I mean, also I wasn't very like, you know, I mean, I was lifting, I was in the gym, but it was like the college lifting, with like they were stronger, faster guys than me. So like very, very initially, because again I got hurt, it was like, okay, am I in the conditioning to be able to compete with these type of guys? And then I got on the field and like, you know, I got my first college hit, bro. I got helicoptered, bro, like by the safety and the linebacker. And like it made me like not jump and catch the ball. Like my coach was like, yeah, you just got your bell hung. And I was like, yeah, like, and he was like, that's your first college hit. And he's like, I was like, bro, I dropped the ball and everything. Like it rang my bell. And then after that, I stopped jumping to catch the ball. I just started staying on my feet and like extending my body instead of like trying to like leave my feet. Cause I did that one time in like practice, bro, and they had a field day.
Yeah, so in boot camp, man, like, don't get me wrong, it is physical, right? But it truly is more mental than physical. Because if you could just continue to stay in there and continue to do what you need to do, you're going to get through it easily.
Right.
And so I was just seeing if we could compare that a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, I had to build that mental, you know, toughness because, like, again, I felt like I was like, I have a level of expectation. Like I have to prove something in a way because they're expecting that I prove something. And you know, that it came with a couple tough conversations, you know, with my coach, with some of the like older players, like, cause like I came in there with an ego. I was like, you know, I'm the man here. Like, I don't care that I'm just a freshman. Like, right. You know, y'all can keep up if you can, like wait until I get on the field type of thing, you know? And like, I think that, you know, I got humbled a couple times. And that just came with learning and growing. And I think that built mental toughness. Is like actually going through, you know, the number one wide receiver, like coming up to me and be like, hey, bro, like, what do you, like, this ain't what you think, like, you're not going to get on the field like that, bro. Like, you need to outwork me. If you're not outworking me, you're not getting on the field. And I was like, oh, word? So, like, it put, you know, and it came with my coach, like, you know, are you really putting in the work? Like, you're leaving early for practice, and like, you know, I'm being a freshman. Like, I'm trying to go party, like, you know, and they're like, are you trying to be great? And so, like, freshman year, you know, I had those, like, conversations, and it was like, hey, if you're going to be on the football team, you had to, like, you know what I'm saying, put in the work. And so I did. And that, again, you know, built mental toughness because I was coming in there thinking that, like, I didn't have to work. I mean, I was good. I was doing what I was, you know what I mean? But I wasn't at that level to maintain it.
Were you like the hot shot at your high school?
I was in a way, you know what I mean? I mean, we had a couple of us like that, you know what I mean? It was like 6 or 7 of us that were like, you know, a couple of them went to D1 schools, a couple of them went to D2 schools. Like we were, it was tough. Like, you know, you had to stand out in high school and, you know, and I put in the work in high school, and I'm thinking the work in high school is easy because like I go early to practice because I'm, you know, I have an appearance to keep up as far as, you know, being dedicated, and like so that built mental toughness in a whole nother aspect is because now I got younger kids, the freshmen and the sophomores, looking at me as I'm a senior, you know, going to college, and they're like, what are his workout habits? Like, what are his patterns? Like, what does he do with his day? He shows up early to practice. He, you know, he stays late, you know, those type of things. And I didn't take those to college.
Why do you think that is?
Because I felt like I had something to prove for myself. Like I was not that I wasn't a team player, but like I had something to prove.
Where, in high school or college?
In college.
So
like,
if you had something to prove, wouldn't those traits have came with you? Or are you talking about on like a personal level?
Like on a personal level, okay. Yeah. Like I was like, my goals are different. Like I'm trying to get on the field. So like I'm not really like worried about consistency right now. It's like I need to stand out. So like I'm making crazy plays. Like I'm doing things that are like, yo, nah, you got to put me on the field. And again, that's like kind of like an ego driven type of thing. And he's like, yo, you got like, coach, you can't be like that kid. Like we're a team type of thing. And then I got that team mentality and kind of like gelled in, found, you know, started my way on special teams. Then I got on offense, and then you know, as I progressed in my career, you know, they started moving me around and stuff like that. But,
so what advice would you give your senior year self? You just graduated, you're getting ready to go to college. What advice now would you tell yourself then?
Stay focused. Like just truly stay focused on what you were intending to do. Because I think I lost focus in the summer going into college. I didn't work out. Like, you know, I'm kind of like sick about leaving my friends. You know, the people who could care less whatever I was doing after
Right.
after high school. So
And
yeah,
you
just
no
staying
longer have
focused
that
on that.
like parental role model, like
Right.
making sure you're fucking doing what you need to do.
Exactly.
You're not being a role model to your brother and sister. Do you have one of each?
Yeah, one of each.
Okay.
Yep.
Because then like you're not going home to them every night. They don't know what you're doing anymore.
Right.
So now you could do
It's
more what you want. So,
exactly.
yeah, that discipline was never like self-instilled. It was family-oriented in a
Right.
sense.
At first,
I get that.
initially, and then as you get older, you have to you have to have discipline in certain degrees. So.
Absolutely. So did you play until senior year?
No, junior year of college, I unfortunately had to drop out.
Oh yeah, because your daughter was born.
Yeah.
Before we talk about that blessing, let's talk about probably the struggle that it was to leave your passion.
I did. It was kind of crazy because like I didn't accept it right away.
Right.
Like I was like, oh, this is like I'm not playing football right now. Like what? So what am I supposed to do with my free time now? Like because it was all organized and structured. Like you got to go to class, you got to do this. You know what I mean? And so then it started being like, well, now that I don't have this and I have a different type of responsibility, I have to even my daily patterns can't be nearly the same. Like it would be simple. Like I know my schedule pretty much from 7 to 5 o'clock, 7 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. I pretty much knew what I was doing all day. But outside of that, which I never really woke up early, I was more of a night owl. So like I stayed up, you know what I mean? And so like I knew what I would do. Like I wake up, do my routine, whoop-de-whoop, 5 o'clock comes, we get out of practice, I go eat, and then the rest of the night is mine, And so I'd go play video games, I'd kick it, like I'd chill, smoke some weed, like, you know what I mean, on some low-key chilling. And so then it was like, boom, now I have a responsibility. It's not just gonna be 7 to 5 planned. It's like every hour is different. Like unless there's, you know what I mean? So like it was definitely difficult transitioning from that like kind of like loose, like strict but loose routine, and then it became now it's not even about me no more. So it just completely like everything changed in the level of dictation at that point.
Did that pull you down into like a slump or maybe like a little depression because you lost it in a sense, right?
Right.
Like you took the uniform off for the last time, not knowing you took it off, and now you have to. Now you're a dad.
Exactly. It changed. It was actually kind of depressing thinking about it. You know what I mean? Like, and I actually chose not to think about it a lot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, this is more important now than like my needs right now, and so it kind of just went in the back burner. And then like one day, like I'm just sitting around. It was a couple months, a year or so later, and I'm just like, damn, I'm not even playing football no more.
Right.
And it was like again, and so like I had to actually find a passion to replace that. And I was fortunate enough to find music. You know what I mean? Like I kind of always loved music. Like I singing, with choir. My mom, she always had us in church and stuff like that. So like music was always a part of my life. And so like it was always like a back burner thing that was just fun. Never a hobby. Never anything that I like personally like seek to have a be this is my passion type of thing.
Right.
And then it just like replaced sports like they interchanged, you know what I mean? Like I'll be somebody who hoops, they're like, yo, play basketball, like all right, I'll hoop, you know what I mean? But like it's no longer my passion, I would say. Like if somebody plays flag football, I'm down. But music is now that passion that I kind of, I wouldn't say drives my daily routine, but like drives patterns in my life, you know what I mean? Like certain time, like the weekends I do stuff, you know what I mean? Like maybe on a Tuesday there's an open mic or those type of things. So it again, that's now impacting my life. Where as the same way with sports, like there was a game on Friday, we had team dinner on Thursday, like those impactful things of my life had changed.
Right. I think it's awesome that you were able to, I hate saying this word because I always mess it up. Compartmentalize. Yes.
Yeah.
You were able to do that to football, and you put your focus in raising your daughter instead of allowing it to just take you down completely. And then you recognize when it started to creep up that it was bothering you. You weren't playing football. You quickly found another passion.
Yep.
And I think
much.
that's very positive and like very helpful to your mental health, because you were able to find something to replace it instead of dwelling on what you didn't have anymore.
Exactly. And then, like I said, I didn't really think about it very much in that year of time. Like yeah, it was just like there was so much more life than worried about sports. You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking about so many different things at that point.
Right? Like, how the fuck am I going to raise this child?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for sure, man. And like you said, with children, it's really hard to have a full routine because everything's different, you know?
Facts.
But losing that structure from college sports probably lost yourself a little bit, you know, because you just like leaving the Marine Corps, right? Like I thought that's exactly what I wanted to get away from. I didn't want to have that structure anymore. And I am realizing quickly and hardly that like that's absolutely what I need.
Yeah, it's human nature, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, we're like creatures of routine and like habits. Like even as much as you like don't want to believe, like most people try to like not like they're like, oh, I don't like a routine. Like that's how you survive.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that you rely on those type of things when you do have, you know, depression or anxiety, like your routines or your habits. Like, what do you do in your daily life that you can fall back on?
Right.
You know
and it's
what I mean?
so quick to lose those habits and routines when you're not being forced to follow them.
Exactly. That's exactly
that's
what
where
happened.
the mental toughness comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes a tough person to like actually be disciplined and dedicated to what they're doing. Absolutely.
So you were about what, 21 when your daughter was born?
22, yeah.
How was that?
2016. I mean, she saved my life, man. Like I'll say that. She saved my life. Her being born. I mean, she's a blessing. Her name's Layla. Yeah, it's definitely an impactful experience to have a child.
Absolutely, especially at a younger age like that.
Yeah.
What would you said a couple of times that she saved your life. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, man. Just like the direction that I was going in as far as like life.
Was this still while playing football or?
Nah, this is
right
after. Yeah, like in that time frame, like it was like May, and I was just leaving school, and it just like completely like I found out in October, and it just completely like changed everything that I was thinking about. Like almost on like a moment's time, like my mind went into a swirl, and like. Good things, negative things like, oh, holy shit, like how am I supposed to do this? And that was because like I wasn't thinking about that at all. Like I'm solely thinking about me. Because again, I'm now out of college, 21, 22 years old, and don't have that direction. Because again, sports was that direction.
Right.
So it was like that, and again, one of those like abrupt things that just changes your life. Like. While I'm trying to be like, okay, well now what do I do? Oh, boom, child. Okay, well, I believe, you lay down to have a child. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're doing. You're having unprotected sex. Hey, life. You know what I'm saying? Who am I to deny that child a life? In my opinion. And that's
absolutely.
People are controversial. How women's body is women's body, and I ain't even going. All of that. But I ain't gonna get into all of that. But what I'm saying? I had to. So in my opinion, what I believe, if I did it, is I have an obligation to that life, and because they didn't ask to be here.
Absolutely.
And who am I to deny them a future? And I mean, this world is crazy, so it's kind of scary. I won't sit here in front like that, but like at the same time, like who am I to deny them a future and living a successful life? You know what I mean?
No, it's honorable for sure.
And that's my opinion.
Where were you headed before her? Where?
I had no idea. I had zero clue. And that was the crazy part. It was like, okay, well, no longer sports. Like what am I good at? I've always, I had to work. So like I done retail. I did the serving. Like I done all of that. I've worked construction. I you know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to find shit that I like to do.
Right.
And yeah, I had no idea. When I was a kid, I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. Like that's what I really wanted to do with my life. Cause like. And I just lost focus in that because like I was like, ooh, sports instead. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't taking my education seriously. It was like I'm playing sports, bro. I'm going to the league, brother. That's how I felt. But again, naive. It's not a lot of people who actually get to make it to the NFL level and playing professionally. So, but I believe that I was one of those people. And then when my course abruptly changes, it kind of like. Makes you prioritize things differently.
Was it ever a struggle? Did you ever struggle with knowing you were about to have a kid? Like, don't get me wrong, your daughter's a blessing and you're so grateful that she's here.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of emotions come with that.
For sure. Like, what am I? And it was like one of those things where it was like, again, like, what type of role model am I to a child? I'm 22 years old and I'm like fucking smoking weed every day. Like I got, again, no routine, no patterns. Like I'm just working a job. Like what role? Like how can I teach a kid to live? And I mean, I haven't even lived myself. You know, so it's like, again, just like a shock, realistically. I think that was one of the most difficult times in my life. Is like right before Layla was born. Like I made a lot of questionable decisions. I did a lot of like things that maybe if I had a chance to do it again, I wouldn't. But you know, that's really what that was definitely an interesting time in my life as far as like mental awareness, health, all of that. Like I wasn't self-aware at that point in my life. Like. Right. So it was just like the mindset, the things that I was thinking about were so different to like what I even just think about right now is crazy to think about.
Besides her being born, what helped you get through those tough times?
Smoking pot.
Yeah.
No lie. I can't lie. That's how I kind of like, you know, I self-medicated for years, man. And like that kept me at a piece of like where I was like, for a time, it was a repression type of thing. And then for another time, after becoming self-aware, it was more of a like, all right, I'm taking my mind to a space where I can actually process without emotion.
Do you ever think smoking was detrimental for a period of time in your life?
For sure. It cost me relationships, you know, with my family, like my friends. You know what I'm saying? Really, that was probably the biggest thing, is relationships. And it's crazy to think that like I'm in a state where it's legal, and now those relationships are repaired.
Yeah.
It was just, I mean, again, being from Virginia, it wasn't legal, so it was like I was doing something illegal, even though it was just smoking pot.
Right.
So it was like a whole thing, and now, you know, again, you know, I've been out here 6 years. I've been, you know, and I actually probably have smoked less in the time, like to think about the times, like, so like growing up in Virginia, like I smoked every day heavy, and like there was a period in my life where like I smoked heavy every day, like solidly, like, and now I'm like, you know, again, another just like a perspective, like it's like instead of smoking 7 grams in one day, like I'm lighting up 2 joints and keeping it cool, unless I'm in a social setting. Then like we getting fucking stoned, like roll it up, brother, like, you know what I mean? But like on a day to day, like you know, I think it's just also coming that I'm getting older too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I mean, bro, I got asthma. I smoke weed, bro. You feel me? So like,
you always got that inhaler on you.
On deck, bro, for sure. But yeah, man.
What was like the first year of Layla being born like for you?
Damn, I probably repressed that, bro. Like it was just like it was so much going on. Like, and it's kind of crazy to even think about, but like I can't even really remember. Like it was so much going on. Like I don't even know if I can really recall. Like I mean, you know, certain events and stuff like that. But like as a whole, bro, I was in a whirlwind at that point in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
I can only imagine. You're young. You're just out of college. Now you have a kid that you have to take care of and you're responsible for. Yeah. Plus having little babies is scary, dude.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting, and it's still an interesting journey right now. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy.
It's definitely wild raising kids, and don't feel bad for not fully remembering it all, because like I have she's about to be 4 and I have a 1-year-old now. And like I don't really remember my 4-year-old or 3-year-old when she was her first year, but I can tell you what, this past year has felt like 7 years. Dude, it's been really hard, but a great blessing at the same time.
It is a blessing, because it's like they're a representation of you, a direct representation of you and your partner, or your the mother, right? Yeah, like that's yin and yang of both of y'all.
That's a good thing about having kids, is like I heard the other day that like you're not raising the kids are raising you. They're teaching you how to mature and grow up, because you see where your flaws are at by the way they're acting, the way they're responding, or whatever, and you're like, oh shit, they get that from me. Like, let me work on myself there, they can be better, you know, instead of like trying to punish her for my actions. You know what I mean?
Because they're just it's their sponges, bro. They just do what you do. They see what you do and do it. And you can teach them.
And they talk just like you.
Right.
And like, you're like, where did you learn to talk like that? Well, clearly you or your mom.
Right,
you know?
Yeah. My 2-year-old is like that. She just turned 2 last week. And she's so smart. It's like, she's telling me stuff. I'm like, you don't even know. She like told me her lunch was delicious. And I would like, she didn't say it clearly like that, but she said delicious. And I'm like, you can't even spell that.
Right.
Like, you don't even know what letters are yet. Like, and you're just saying delicious. It's like, because she hears that. Like, and she hears like very, mature words. And she's just turned 2, and it's like, has almost like a full vocabulary for a 2-year-old.
No.
Like, she can tell you what colors are. She can tell you what shapes are. She knows her TV shows. Like, it's interesting, these kids these days. Shout out to her mom. I give her mom credit for, raising her the way she does. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
sure.
awesome. Same here. Dude, do your kids watch Miss Rachel?
She did for a while. I think she got tired of it, but she did watch Miss
Thank
Rachel
God,
for a while.
Yeah.
And I think that's those things are important. Like, what they're actually just absorbing, like their minds. It's interesting.
Right. I credit, besides my wife, my mom, and I credit Miss Rachel for my 3-year-old. She was able to do sign language. That's very early
nice.
on. I mean, simple ones like
hello,
I'm gonna mess it up.
good
Like
morning.
more.
Yeah.
I think it was like more. I forget what milk is, or all done, and like simple ones like that. But like, she was able to communicate with us before she could really babble. Yeah. So it was kind of cool, dude.
That is cool.
And
it's human, you know what I mean? Like, that's like body language. Like, there's things that you can do that, shout out to sign language.
Right.
For real.
So, what has your life been like raising your kids now?
Man, it's a journey. I would use that as the word, journey. Day-to-day things aren't really, I don't live with either of them. Layla's in, Virginia, so it's like, I go visit. We, those type of things. We talk on FaceTime, etc. Anaya's out in, that's my 2-year-old, and she's out here in Phoenix. And, I go visit 2-3 times a week. Like, I was just at a birthday party, so it's like not direct day to day, but we FaceTime almost every day. Like, it's a work in progress, man. It's a, like I said, a journey. I'm still learning, and I'm still trying to get to a point in my life where, like, I can actually be a good role model, and not that I don't feel like I am right now, I think that my mindset, as far as like, good and bad, is on key. But like, as a man, I don't feel like I'm where I need to be able to provide a safe place and a safe, home for both of my daughters at any point. And I'm working on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be in this crossroad of not having what I want to be able to provide them a space. Like, I want to give them a room. I don't want them being in a apartment with me just like shit. Like, I don't want that, you know what I mean? So like, as I can impact, as I'm chasing my dream, and then once my dreams are realized, then I can facilitate being the father that I want to be, and that's what I'm working on right now.
All right, I see that. I respect that. But you also got to remember that the kids don't care what the fuck you have or don't have. They care about having you.
I feel that.
So don't hold yourself back of spending time with your kids because you don't feel like you're at where you want to be in life.
For sure.
Because like, you're gonna miss out on too much that way. And I'm not saying you are.
No,
and I'm not attacking you. So I hope.
All
right. But yeah. And then you said something earlier about like, you're still growing, you're still learning, bro. I am recognizing that we're always going to be in that stage because this is the first time we're in this position. And even if you have 2, 3, 4, I have 4 kids altogether, right? So even if you have that, it's still a new experience with this child, or like even time. For you in your life, right? Like it's something new. So I think that actually is helping me grow from my childhood and like the way I used to perceive things, right? Because growing up, I always thought my parents had it figured out. I thought parents in general, if you're a parent,
like
you
you're
have life
yeah,
figured
yeah,
out.
yeah,
You got a good job, X, Y, Z. And then quickly realizing that is not the case, dude. Everything is like a day by day. Like even my mom and dad now, they're grandparents, right?
Yeah.
They're still learning on how to be a grandparent. They were
Right,
never a grandparent before, you know, and they're still learning how to be a parent to a 34-year-old, you know?
Right.
So
I see what you're saying. No, that's a valid point, man. That's a valid point. I can't even argue that, like, or have any type of like, you know, that they don't care. You know, she like, I dressed up as Sully for her birthday. She loves Monster Inc. So like we brought her a cake and she was like Monsters Inc. Because like she
so
knows,
cool.
you know, and that's so, you know, and I get what you're saying. I may have come across like it's more of a, again, like an ego thing for me. And then that, you know, again, obviously I don't want that affecting my children, but you know, I think that they deserve more, and then you know, I mean, obviously I give them my time that I do, but you know, I believe that they deserve more than the world. So like, I gotta go hard. You know what I'm saying?
I completely agree with you, and I understand how. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I just gotta go hard, bro. Like that's it. I got big dreams. I got big goals, and I gotta go hard for them.
So what are your big dreams and goals?
Man, I just want to be free in the sense of, you know, having all autonomy to make all decisions for my life and the people who are involved with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm not the materialistic type. Like, I want a big crib, like 17 cars. Like, I want assets, you know, and I want things that are gonna grow in value, so that I can impact the community that I'm either wanted, whether that's a community that I built or where I reside. You know what I'm saying? Just the people who are involved and connected in my life have a positive experience with life, because life is fucking hard. And so like, just to be able to provide a doorway for people, or, you know, opportunities, because opportunities are opportunities, man. Like, you can change them into real life things. You know, it takes one handshake to change a life. And you know, I want to be able to foster a good foundation for that, and live a life of comfortability. You know what I'm saying?
And that's where your networking
Absolutely
comes in.
Absolutely.
And can you explain what that is again?
I mean, so I host a Connect and Collab event. It's networking for you know, creatives, business, entrepreneurial people who are, you know, similar minded, you know, like, are trying to hustle and get, like, got big dreams, got big aspirations, like, not trying to just like fit the molds. And when you sit in a room with people who are like minded, powerful things happen. And so that's really what that comes from.
How can we find that?
Right now, you can find that on. It's all on my Instagram right now.
Okay.
Pilot _Flyin with no G. PILOT_FLYIN with no G, because I keep it G. You dig it? Follow me, tap in. You know what I'm saying? But right now we're looking for a bigger venue. We're looking for more space to be able to facilitate this event. So right now we're on postpone. You know, I think I'm gonna take a whole season off until we find the right place, because it was at a wine bar in downtown Phoenix. It was a very intimate, you know, vibe. It was live music, as far as a spotlighted artist that I choose, whether it's spoken word poet or, you know, a musical artist, you know, pianist, guitarist, you know, whatever the vibes may be. And just get people in the rooms, because, like, again, you don't know who you don't know. Like, I may know someone that could literally change your life tomorrow, and it's like, you don't even know that. Like, you know, it's just connections, bro. Like, it's like energy, bro. Like, the more you put, like, in a chain and, like, and it's solid, the connection you can spread out and do more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of where that, you know, again, I'm looking for a specific type of thing. Like, I'm not just gonna go find a venue and just put something together, because it's special, it's important. Like, relationships are important. You know, business relationships, personal relationships, those things are important. So if you meet someone on a comfortable space, like, you've both decided to be there, and you know that the purpose is building a connection with someone, then that's you're already above just meeting someone on the street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
You have to have the right people.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of that situation. Like, and again, it's not just music artists. It's not just people who paint. It's I've had a couple lawyers in the building. Like it's you never know.
It's a variety.
You know what I mean? Like it's just business minded people.
Okay. And for like everything you do you believe in manifestation?
Absolutely.
Do you do that?
For sure. I think it is one of the most important, and it's in my daily life because it's like a repetition thing. So again, it's like consistent.
Can you give me an example?
Like affirmations. I'll sit in the morning, like when I wake up, and just listen to like positive energy and like positive affirmations, just like hearing things that are positive to start my day. And it's like I can be honest, like I can't really remember the last time I had like a bad day. Maybe like at the beginning of the year, but like I can't remember the last time I had a bad day. Like I've had some unfortunate moments and like things that are like very like why is this happening? But like it didn't make me like have a bad day. Because again, it was just like I'm hearing consistent positive things. So like that's what my mind resorts to is the positive things. Like it's not hard to like kind of combat those negative thoughts. You just don't believe the negative thought and reinforce it with a positive thought.
So have you changed the style of music or podcast or whatever you listen to from in the past? Or did you just add on to it?
I think I have a wide variety as far as music goes. I think more for music, it's a mood thing, and like how I'm feeling, not necessarily like impacting my day to day. Like, music was therapy for me for a while. Like as far as just like listening to certain songs and like, kind of going through those emotions. I think that music is one of the most powerful tools in the world. Yeah, man, I just think as far as podcasts go, everything's kind of in line, man. Like I think as I'm growing and learning, it's like, you're just looking at things differently. Like hearing other people's experiences. I use this app called Headway, and it's like a little like book app. And it kind of just highlights the high points of books, because I don't like to sit. Like I feel like sitting and reading is time consuming. You know what I mean? Like I think it's a good thing, but I just like some of the stuff in between just isn't necessarily what I need to stimulate my thought process or like my mind. Like I can build my own based off of these 7 high notes or whatever. You know what I mean? Like
so it's kind of like a spark notes
in a way.
book?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, it's pretty cool though. Like I wouldn't say I'm reading a book, but again, it's just getting the high points and like the main points really.
Okay, and that was called the Headway? Headway?
Yeah,
Okay.
Headway, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So, train of thought lost real quick. I'll come back now.
Yeah, no, we're here.
Headway, if you want to sponsor us, Jmach Podcast at gmail.com. We'll put you in the next episode, and the next episode, and the next episode.
All credit due to Pilot Flyin.
Hey man, we outside. Hey, good mind stuff, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now's a great time to say that this episode is fueled by Liquid Death. Get you a water in a can.
Hey man, death to plastic, man. Shout out to
probably
Liquid
terrible,
Death.
but
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Murder your thirst. What's up?
So, what are some positive affirmations you reaffirm to yourself daily?
Man, it changes because like I got different ones for different days. So like some are like peace driven, some are like happiness driven, some are just general ones. So like I am, like I am abundant. You know what I'm saying? Like I am, I'm healthy and wealthy. You know what I mean? Like those type of things. I can't think off the top of my head. Like several ones that I say. I actually write them down because I believe that if you write something down a certain amount of times, it just comes second nature into your brain. I mean, I haven't necessarily. Like I said, I can't think off. I'm stoned, bro. Like I can't even think off the top of my head right
You're
now.
good.
But yeah, like I mean, like I take that time and I have a journal and it's like that. That's my morning routine. It's like that's just. And then I go get some sunlight.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How long have you been journaling for?
I mean, it started when I was younger, but like for like daily purposes, probably only like 2 years, like on a daily purpose, you know.
And what got you into journaling both younger years? What got you into journaling when you were younger?
Just wanting to write down my thoughts. I was a very imaginative child,
Okay.
and so like I just wanted to always like write what I was seeing in my imagination. And so like I never really been like a good drawer, like, you know, a person who draws or can like paint pictures, and like it's more like words for me. Like I can like see, like I can visualize words, and,
Okay.
and that's kind of how it started. It was like I was able to like write out what I was saying and then see what I was thinking and be able to like think about what I was imagining, you know.
And what got you journaling 2 years ago?
This podcast, I can't even remember which one it was, but like I said, I'm stoned, bro. My bad, forgive me.
No, you're good.
But it was talking about like, you know, writing down your thoughts and like being like, you know, what you're grateful for the day, and like having these like, you know, kind of like cliff notes of your day, and it kind of like helps your brain process, again, without emotion, because you're like seeing it.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, emotion is a thing. Is real, and it can like definitely cloud and change the way you process and decision make. And so like that's kind of what really sparked that, is being able to kind of like, all right, bro, this happened today. This is how I felt about it. This is what I would do differently if I was in that situation again. And like just little things like that, you know, 30 minutes to an hour like each night before bed, and it's just like a cleanse of thought so I could sleep better. You know what I mean? And so like like I said, I can't really remember a bad day, and like I'd be sleeping.
So I have always known, not always, I'll say like with the past year or two, I've learned the benefits that journaling could have on your mental health.
Yeah.
But I never put pen to paper.
You should.
I started yesterday, marked 2 weeks straight of
Sweet.
finally journaling.
Yeah.
And I can definitely say there's been an improvement. Don't get me wrong, when I first started journaling, I was barely scratching the surface because I was like, I don't know what to journal.
It's hard to start.
And yeah, but just starting's all you needed though, because now that the ball's rolling,
You kinda see where you can-
I'm going a little bit deeper in my
Yeah.
thoughts and feelings and shit like that. So like, it's been very beneficial.
It like it compounds meditation in my head. So like in the morning I meditate, and I just kind of like still my mind, and like, because like I don't, like I said, I kind of like cleanse my mind each night by writing out what, you know, things are on my mind. And it's like I do it, you know, 2 hours, an hour before bed. So then it's like I get a little bit of time to like decompress. I mean, sometimes I watch TV to fall asleep, but like not very often. And then like I just like, you know, like I feel like I go to bed with a clear mind. Like I'm not really tossing and turning. Like obviously I get up in the middle of the night, whatever. But
Right.
as far as like actually sleeping and like having peaceful sleep, it's significantly helped that.
Because we get that whatever's been on our mind out of our mind, because we wrote it down,
Right.
and now it's not just constantly replaying and replaying. But yet you keep saying like you can't remember the last time you had a bad day, maybe like a bad hour. But it keeps reminding me of like, I'm pretty sure Coach Prime said that shit. I saw like a little highlight video of him. He's like, I don't have bad days. I'll have like a bad hour, but that's all I'll allow it to be, because like I'll just work through it.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother mindset you got to get yourself to though, because before, a lot of times, especially when you get mad, you just want to spiral and be mad and angry because you want to hurt back, and like you're mad, but literally you're drinking the poison hoping that they get hurt, but you're just hurting yourself. And journaling helps get that poison out.
Definitely. Yeah, man, it's important. Like I said, like you resort back to your routines and your habits when you do go through like negative experiencing things, or even when you, in essence, come down from a positive experience things. Like you still have a root. Like you could have had the best weekend in your life, but guess what? You still got to go do what you got to do on Monday.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's hard to maintain that. Especially, imagine having 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 great weekends in a row. That 11th Monday, you're not gonna want to like. Why would I stop having fun? You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, that's habit. It's a reoccurring thing. Like your mind starts to build, you know, the patterns, and it gets comfortable. And again, humans, That's the problem. People have habits that they don't even realize that they have because they've been doing it for so long. And then it's so difficult to break those habits because they've been doing it for so long and don't even know it.
It turns into an addiction, right? Like you can, I'm starting to believe, let me rephrase that you can actually be addicted to being depressed or being mad or being miserable. And it's not like you're intentionally doing these things, but that's the first thing you think about when you wake up. That's what you think about when you're eating your lunch. That's what you think about before you fall asleep, if you fall asleep.
Right.
And so it's so hard to force I'm talking from self, right? Like, dude, it's been so hard for me to wake up and think positive, for me to go to bed and think positive. It all started with me going to bed saying, I love myself, I'm proud of myself, I can't wait to wake up, I'm happy. And like...
reassurance, bro. You're telling your mind that. And you're looking at yourself and your brain is hearing you say that.
It feels fake. It feels fake.
It's wild to think about.
But now I'm waking up and I'm happier. Life's getting better. And it's because that's what I'm paying attention to.
It's your perspective. It's the way you look at life. And that's what I said, it's so important. And I think that's really what has helped me as far as like dealing with, depression and going through trauma and like it's human experience. We all go through it. It's just how you go through it. That's the difference. And again, it's like not only how you go through it, but it's how you look at it while you're going through it. And like we all go through human things, you feel me? Like it just doesn't matter left or right, you know, but it's like how you look at it and how you go through it.
And it's almost like we all have to get out of that victim mindset, because even when you don't realize that you're in the victim mindset, but you're like, man, this shit happens to me, like my life sucks, like that's a victim mindset. If you can say that your life sucks and you're allowing whatever happens to hold you down, like it's a victim mindset, even though it's hard to accept that for sure.
Yeah.
But like as soon as you're able to recognize it and become aware of it, it becomes easier to change. Don't get me wrong, it's still an uphill battle, but it's so worth it.
Yeah, definitely. It takes a lot. Again, that discipline that you were talking about earlier, like it takes that. Like it takes waking up and being consistent. Because like, again, life happens and it throws you off your pivot, you know what I mean? Like you got to get back to your square once you've been knocked off your pivot though, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's about how fast you can get back up or get back to where you were. So tell me a little bit about your music career.
Man.
How did it start?
2019 is really when because I moved out here 2018, so 2019 I actually linked up with one of my good homies, Henny Lago. He's actually, we went to the same high school, and we just both ended up being out in Phoenix, and and he was killing the scene. He was doing his thing, and I just like I said, 2018 I moved out here, so like I kind of already had a little, I 2015, 2016 is like, I was like, all right, I'm about to take music serious. Because again, it was like that year of time that my daughter was born, and I was like, what am I about to do? And so like 2016, 2017, I was like, all right, yeah, music is it. Like this is what I'm going to go do. This is my passion. This is going to be my life. And it became that, the next 5 years from 2017 to like 2022, like I put in music work. Like, I invested in myself. I established my, stage name and created a persona of a lifestyle that I want to be. And that's who I am in front of you right now. You know what I mean? Like I live my life like how I talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, that comes from dreams and admirations and stuff like that. So like, yeah, starting 2019, I started recording more seriously. I started taking the time to like get studio time and like record myself and dedicate that aspect to like, yo, I'm gonna drop my first song. And I dropped my first song with Rocky Fresh in 2020, and that was like, I got a feature. My homeboy Clutch Packs made the beat. Like it was, like I own this record. Like this is my joint. Like I put it together, and that's really what started the ball for me. And then I just kept pushing. I kept making music. I kept dropping a couple singles. I had a couple, projects that I featured on. And then, I started doing more shows. And then, I opened up for Young Deji out in Cali. I met Eli Bands and Jay West. And you know what I'm saying? We just kept pushing, like, and, building my network and, connecting with people who are influential in my life today, as far as music goes, you feel me? And I don't take those things lightly. as far as like, again, relationships. It's important, and I believe that I build good relationships from the foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but that's really kind of how, my music career had started and progressed.
What would you say is the hardest thing about being in music?
Man, staying consistent, to be honest, like, because it's like, I think, it takes a dedicated person to feel confident in themselves, to be able to express their art consistently and share it with the world and stuff like that. That's hard. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, I like, at this point, like, I love music. It's my life. But it's like, again, those days, like, I'm down to record, whatever. Like, I'm always down to record, but like, do I feel like doing music today? And that's hard to get into a mode where, and right now that's where I'm at. I'm in a mode where like I can make music every single day. Like I'll write, work on a song every single day. And like, that's where I'm at, and I think it goes through phases of like, and again, it's like outside things in your life too, you know what I mean, that impact it. And, sometimes you gotta slow down to speed up.
Right.
So I think, again, it's just that level of remaining consistent in your craft.
I agree. Consistency is pretty hard. And I mean, like, to be truthful, this is probably our most consistent season yet, bro.
Yeah,
We've been going every week straight since, what, April?
Hey.
March? No, February, March?
Push the button.
February.
Yeah, that's some clap worthy, you know what I'm saying? Keep going. It's important. Keep going.
Absolutely, man.
Keep going.
Like, I'm not even going to lie. Every week or, like, every couple of weeks, I'll start feeling like, man, maybe I should cancel an episode. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore. But then, like, we're hearing this conversation. I'm like, dude, I'm so glad I didn't allow myself to back out because, like, we're having a great conversation. And two, like, every time I hear somebody else's story, it reignites. My passion's never going to go away for this podcast, right? Because, like, I'm saving myself as much as I'm trying to save you or whoever is listening.
Right.
And that, like, and just hearing other people's stories is inspiring. And, like, I can learn and grow from everybody.
That's dope, bro. That's dope. This is a really cool podcast, man. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it.
Man,
Yeah,
sure.
Of course, dude. I appreciate you coming back and being on the podcast for sure.
For sure, absolutely.
And tried to have him on last year, and we just had technical difficulty after technical difficulty. I felt terrible.
It's all good, man. It's part of the process. You learn, you know what I mean?
I appreciate you being so professional and
No
understanding
doubt,
that. Like,
absolutely.
Because I even told him today, I was like, I still feel bad, and like if he called no showed, I wouldn't blame him, right?
No sweat.
So no, I appreciate it.
For the most part, I pull up where I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? I pull up proper, you know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how nervous I was, though, and how much I thought something was going to go wrong just because we were having you back on, and it went so rough the first time. I was like, okay, this looks good, and this looks good, and that looks good. And then what about this? Okay, that looks good. All right, now this looks good. Like, I was just going back and forth
He
between
would
everything.
not sit down until you got here, bro. And I was like, you need to sit down for my anxiety.
Nah, it's all good, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the program, man. I've done, some shows where, like, the sound don't even work. And it's like I'm in the middle of my set, the sound cut out. I'm like, oh, all right. I kept rocking. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a show. The show must go on. Sometimes you gotta stop the program, but you get right back to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
What would be the most rewarding thing about music?
Honestly, hearing someone say, saying that your, music impacted them, or like, that they enjoy it. I think that's, a satisfying feeling. Like, again, like I'm not in a space where like I'm making, sad music or something like that. Like I like to have fun, I like to smoke weed. Like, and even as like, it's like that feeling on a Saturday or like a Sunday, you just wake up and you feel like the man. Like, that's my shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and, try to like use my life as like the things that I look at as lessons. I'm not necessarily trying to share those with the world. I mean, again, these conversations are the type of things that are going to be impactful. But as far as my music, like I want to, it's fun, it's upbeat, what I mean? It's a good vibe. I mean, again, everything has its place, but like, and I know that that's not for everybody, because some people don't wake up and feel like the man, and that's okay. You know what I mean? But like, that's don't play my music then, if that's, you know what I'm saying?
Or fake it till you make it, man. Play my music till you believe in it.
You know what I'm saying? And that's cool. I just want to inspire people. That's
awesome.
Really one of my biggest things. Like I said, it's kind of like that's my goals. It's like dreams, aspirations. Is being a inspiration and a foundation of people to achieve what they want. Because that's the thing. Like, it's like, that shit's hard, bro. And if you keep going, you go hard, it's going to happen, bro. That's how I feel about it. Like, that's how I feel about it. So, like, sometimes I'll be going through phases. It's like, dang, bro, like, I've been going hard and it's still not cracking. All right, boom. Guess we got to go harder.
And you got to find something to change up,
You know what I'm saying?
Keep
like,
evolving.
Have you ever seen that little meme of the guy? The one dude finds, like, he's digging, and he finds the one big diamond, and then the dude stops digging, and there's a whole shit ton of diamonds.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that guy ever in my life.
Right.
So, like, I got to keep going hard. And, like, again, it gets tough. Like, I was at a point where I was, like, ready to, like, give music up. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, it's not fun. I'm not having fun with it. I'm not loving it. And I knew something was wrong then. That's why I was like, okay, life isn't like, I need to be looking at shit different. Because if I'm in a space where, like, I'm not even, like, enjoying music, like, not let alone mine, but, like, listening to other music and stuff, like, I don't even, like, it's just not affecting me mentally, it's a problem. We gotta change some things. So again, I sat down. I started meditating again more, and I got back to more of my center of, like, where my energy is normally, because I was very out of my energy and past the point where I was, like, not enjoying things that I love. I love playing video games, bro. I couldn't even remember the time that I turned on a PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? And that was another sign. I'm like, bro, I'm going crazy. Like, I'm not doing nothing that I like. Okay, we got to pump the brakes, reevaluate some things. And again, it was just me being self-aware of my mental health. And it got to a point where I wasn't realizing it. And then I was like, okay, pump the brakes. And it was just because, like, I started going into patterns. I started doing things. And it's just like it went from writing a song every day to not writing a song in months. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's again, staying consistent. That's tough. I was going through shit in my life at that point, you know what I mean? And it was like, I couldn't even think to make, like, I wasn't in a creative space to, like, be like, yeah, this is fun. And that's again, the hardest part is, like, maintaining that love for it. And again, it's not just for me. Like, I make music for people too, you know what I'm saying? Like, I make stuff that I want to hear, because, like, that's dope. Like, I again, I wake up and feel like the man. Some days I'm not, but 98% of the time, bro, I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I still go through fucked up shit, but I'm still the fucking man.
And that's why going through shit, like, everybody's gonna go through it, right?
Feel me?
But that's why it makes consistency so much harder than it is to fall off that wagon.
Come on.
Right? Because everybody's off the wagon. Nobody's, like, really supporting you. Like, you got people supporting you, right?
Right.
But, like, people want you to be on their level, right? You're trying to excel, grow, and be something bigger than yourself. And now the devil, in a sense, is, like, trying to entice you to come to his side and hey, let's go smoke some more weed. Let's start drinking a little bit more. Oh, you don't got to write today. You can write tomorrow.
Right.
And then tomorrow turns into tomorrow, and then tomorrow,
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Couldn't be more spot on, bro.
Have you heard either of your girls singing your music yet?
No.
Have you wrote them a song yet?
I got a couple in the chamber. I haven't released it yet, but for sure they got some. You know what I mean?
You should write them some kid songs, man.
Hey, that's not a bad idea. Snoop Dogg's doing
Get
it.
them on. Yeah, dude. Snoop Dogg's getting into everything.
Shout out to Uncle Snoop. But nah.
So, where can we find your music?
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. You know what I'm saying? SoundCloud. I'm about everywhere.
What are we looking for? What's your
Pilot Flyin, Pilot Flyin with no G, because I keep a G. You dig?
right here? You see this?
Yeah,
You're gonna put it right here on my hand, okay?
Tapped
Corey,
in. Pilot
right here on my
Flyin
hand.
Myles Hye. You dig it? Loud and clear shit. You know how I get down, man. My
Okay.
guy, Jmach.
Whoop-de-whoop, right? So I'm going to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah.
Any saved rounds, anything I missed you want to talk about?
Man, like I said, appreciate you having me back on, man. I definitely appreciate you giving me a space to share my story. Man, it's refreshing to even talk about my life, you know what I mean? Because again, we get into the day-to-day things and don't really think about it. Then it's like, damn, I got a lot to be grateful for, bro. Like, I got a lot, I've learned a lot, I've come far, and I got some shit to be proud of. And so, like, again, I appreciate you giving me the platform to kind of express that.
It's my pleasure, bro. I'm
Yeah,
glad you
yeah.
came back. I'm glad we had a great conversation. And hopefully I'll inspire your next song, all right?
Yeah, for sure.
The one that's going to hit the Billboard.
Hey, man. Hey, just pay attention, man. It's loud and clear shit going crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? I got some merch dropping. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Chris Tweedy, High Hands Hemmer. Make sure you get you one of them ones. You know what I'm saying? Original garments on the, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? We out here popping shit.
Awesome. Thank you, brother.
Yep, thank you.